Yo, what's going on, everyone? Miles Midoriya here with a quick review and recap of Trigun Stampede Season 1, Episode 2. I gotta say, this episode was nice. It was some similarities to the original and, of course, with its own spin to it. In the beginning, they're at the bar and we hear over the radio that the Nebraska family has escaped from prison. I was like, wait, in the background, they did have a poster of Maryland, Nebraska, but it's probably too early for her to pop up. But speaking of the posters, we see some new ones in the background in this episode. In the background, we see Ride the Blade, who was in the original Trigun, but this next one, I don't remember if he was from the anime or maybe the manga. Or maybe it's a new one, but I can't see the first part of the name, but the rest of it says the comics artist. Whoever he is, I think we may see him sometime in the future. Going back to the episode, Vash is telling everyone that the man going around doing all this stuff is his twin brother. They say that there's no proof and that they can't just take his word for it. He even tried to cry and get sympathy, but it didn't work on them. At first, I was like, this episode's totally different than the original. Rosa's son showed up showing off some worms at the table. His mom told him to leave, and after he did, she pulled out a weapon, and so did everyone else in that diner, pointing them at Vash. That's the episode we remember. So after she heard how much he was worth from the first episode, she didn't want to, but she decided they had to turn him in to get the money to fix the plant. So it was a little bit different in Trigun episode 5. The title was called Hard Puncher. He was sitting at a restaurant eating and these people came in looking for him. And of course he took care of them. And then when they heard who he was and how much he was worth, they was trying to get him so they can pay for the plant. Like before, he took off running while they're chasing him down. Meryl and Roberto end up helping him out. The scene quickly goes to the Nebraska family. I think the new designs are pretty cool. It's funny how they shrunk Ghost Seth. My bad if I pronounced that name wrong. But the first version of this character would not be fitting in that vehicle. The first version of this character looked a little bit more dangerous, and not gonna front, I know that driver is nervous with this man holding that rocket launcher next to him, but the Nebraska family is on their way to find Vash the Stampede to collect the money. Back into the town, Meryl and Roberto are discussing the current situation. Roberto said if she could put up a fight, it would be easier. Vash said, what do you want them to do, have a shootout? Meryl brought up the question again about him not having any ammo, and he told her that he bought plenty, he just doesn't want to use it because bullets are pricey, and that he can bring up how one bullet is worth 2 whole slices of pizza. Here's a clip of the original Trigun and him bringing up something similar. I just noticed this going over the episode again where he brings up the price of one bullet costing the same as a stack of pancakes.
You always survive like that without shooting anyone?
Because it's too wasteful. After all, I can come into a restaurant like this and order an entire stack of pancakes for the price of one silly bullet.
I couldn't help but laugh at that. So later on, they ended up distracting some of the townspeople, but Rosa and a few of the other women were waiting by the exit. Since that happened, the scene goes back to the Nebraska family, and the guy that's driving looks and see that Vash is already caught, and they get into a disagreement with the father of Nebraska, and he told his son to shut the driver up, and he accidentally knocks him out the window. The scene goes to Rosa, and she's explaining to Vash and his friends that they are mothers who won't stand by while their kids get sick and starve. That's when they hear the vehicle coming towards them. Rosa's son is right in front of it, and she runs towards them to get them out the way. But you already know Vash gets up and rushes towards both of them and saves them. Nebraska family challenges Vash to a duel, and he takes off running away from the town with the Nebraska family and Meryl and Roberto following behind. I'm thinking he got away because he didn't want the people there to get hurt. While on the chase, the Nebraska family vehicle stops. They hop out. He tells his son to shoot his hand towards Vash, and they are being pulled, and he's yelling at him saying that he needs to stop running and fight, and he doesn't like cowards like him. It was funny seeing Meryl and Roberto on the sidelines just watching what's going on, and then they just pull off. Eventually Vash gets away, but Father Nebraska has something else up his sleeve. He's going to take one of the plants. When they got some distance, Meryl told Vash that she agreed with Father Nebraska about him being a coward, that it isn't an act of kindness and he's running away from pain. Vash let her know that she might be right, but is it such a terrible thing? Is fighting everything head on so important even if someone gets hurt? Over at the town, we see the Nebraska family fighting the townspeople. Roberto and the others hear it over the radio, so they head back into town to help out. They manage to get the plant and are about to attach it to something and leave, but Rosa rushes in, which was a bad idea. Gosef grabs her, throws her up in the air, and is about to aim his hand and shoot it at her, but Vash jumps in and kicks the hand out of the way. It was a pretty clean entrance. The fight begins, and Vash is dodging the attacks. The father's wondering why Vash isn't shooting anything. Vash asked him the same question. Tell me why he said the same thing Vash said earlier in the episode, which was the ammo is pricey. So you probably been wondering why he hasn't been using this rocket launcher throughout the whole episode, because the ammo's too high. Gosef shoots his hand at Vash, he dodges, and the father shoots the rocket, taking out some of the structure. After that explosion, Vash pops up. Of course he survived. Father Nebraska went on saying, why is he trying to help the townspeople after what they try to do to him, that they are worse than regular villains for pretending to befriend him. Vash told him that he doesn't mind that they tricked him, that they were kind to him, and he wants to save them, that's all. Yo, this dude, Father Nebraska, thought he had a whole nother rocket, tossed that out the way, and pulled out a different weapon, shot towards Vash, but Vash used his weapon and the bullets canceled out. We didn't see a cool scene where he shoots the bullets at the robotic hand coming towards the townspeople, but this wasn't bad either. The platform started to go down. Gosef grabs a plant carrying it. He passes it to Vash while trying not to fall. Vash grabs onto his hand. Rosa at first wasn't going to let the father help his son, but Vash convinced her. Everyone came together and pulled him up. We know in the first Trigun, that's not how things went. He ended up defeating both of them, and I think they went to jail after that. Once everything was over, they allowed the Nebraska family into the diner. Everyone's drinking and talking, and that's when Vash makes his exit. Roberto meets up with him before he leaves, and he says that the people will miss him. Vash said he doesn't want to overstay, but Roberto said that he couldn't stay in one place for long even if he wanted to, and asked who was he running from. Was it the name he mentioned that morning, meaning his brother Knives? All of a sudden they hear a scream and they run back up to see Gosef going wild because he has these little small robots around him, and Roberto called them lost technology. I wonder if that had anything to do with Knives. Next we see Gosef run outside the diner and we see like a small explosion, and that's where the episode ends, so we don't know if he made it or not. Overall, the episode was cool. We seen some stuff that was similar to the original. Parts of the episode was new. Excited to see what episode 3 would be. I wonder if that's when we'll see someone come in and fix the plant. And no telling what happened after that, but y'all let me know in the comment section down below what did you think about the episode and what was your favorite part from it. Here's some more content to check out. Thank you all for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.